What's up, guys? It is time for CALLOUS Invitational 5 play-ins. In real time, this is actually the fourth match to play out. 3 others have happened, and they all just happen to be narrated by other people, even though I don't know if the order on YouTube will necessarily reflect that because other people are slow. However, this is the first one that I get to narrate, and how fitting is it that the first one that was played out that is scheduled for me to narrate features my good buddy JabbaTheGriffin, one of my closest Pokemon friends and my co-manager in many tours, including SPL last year. He's got himself quite the challenge here. He's against Shiloh Rozes, who I think has been in play-ins every single year that we've had play-ins. Last year, he was very close to the main event. He came one game away and didn't end up getting there. And he actually has successfully gone through the play-ins before in CALLOUS Invitational 2. He won his play-in bracket and then proceeded to go 2-2 in the main event, which, I mean, may not sound amazing on paper, but that's tied for the best record that any play-in player has ever done. And in a field as strong as CALLOUS Invitational fields tend to be, 2-2 is a fine record. So this is a tough pairing. These are guys who are both very capable of making a deep or hell, even a complete play-in run and making it into the main. Jabba has also played the main event before, briefly, in CALLOUS Invitational 1. So they both want to get back to it. Like I said, I think this is a tough pairing, but let's see how it plays out. I'm going to do however many games. It is a best of 3, but I'm going to do them all in one video to avoid spoilers. Let's get to the action. Shiloh, that's Rozes, on the bottom. Trainer Orange, that's Jabba, on the top. T-Tar Meta, and immediate turn 1 mash, hitting Scarm, not choice band damage, no attack raise. Spikes, Hidden Power, shows itself to be a mixed meta since that is HP Fire, and now Protect for lefties. So one layer down for Rozes, who often does lean towards TSSE teams, which appears to be what we're looking at here. Hidden Power there is a crit for Jabba, which not a huge deal, but just a little extra damage. Might matter if it's a non-recover Starmie, but scratch that. He's going to show T-Wave, which is only on the bulky recover sets, so now we know. Lax gets hit with a para, immediately doubles back to Celebi here. Scarm very well may set up an additional lair here, doesn't need to be too afraid of Celebi. Goes Drill Pack, plays it aggressively as a CM comes down. Could this be a BP? Could this be an HP Fire? Gonna protect, not playing around the Baton Pass, plays around the HP Fire, and he's right, so good protect for Rozes there, getting free lefties. Doubles back to Arrow, now the BP comes, passing it to Swampert, who's not only going to check the Aerodactyl, but now is going to be offensively dangerous with boosted Ice Beams, Hydro Pumps, maybe Hidden Power Grass. Ice Beam on Starmie, who cares, but what can Starmie do to the Swampert? I assume not much. EQ crit there, 80%, but again, the Starmie is going to have some amount of bulk to it, being that 2-wave set, so pending another crit, should be in the clear. Going to be a lot of opportunities to find that crit, though. I mean, Starmie just sitting here only net gaining about 5% every time that he does this, so Jabba with a lot of opportunities to get it. 42 that one did. The others have done about 45. We saw that it could be as low as 40 because that initial critical hit did 80. Yep, getting a good idea of the damage range here. Approximately 40 to 45% is what we're looking at. And slowly but surely, Rozes is managing to nurse the Starmie back to health. Hydro Pump there 44%, but of course imperfect accuracy. And Celebi here wants to come in on anything other than Ice Beam and manages to do so successfully. Gonna have to eat one on the Leech Seed turn though. 62% at +1 that's gonna do. Obvious recover turn from Celebi if he has it, which you would think that he will. Almost all Leech Seed sets do. And there is the recover as the meta comes in. The crisis of the Swampert has been averted. Leech Seed and Mash, respectively. Sure, 37%. Some of that comes back with the Seed. This is a pretty clear recover turn, so if he's going to boom, this would be a good time. And that is indeed what he does. He trades the lead meta for the back Celebi. Leaves us in a 5-5, with those being the first knockouts. And now here is the Swampert and the reappearance of the Scarm, respectively. Hydro Pump Drill Pack. Surprised that he Drill Pack there. Doesn't seem that exciting, but I guess it's a lack of something better to do. Protects again. Back up to 53. over prediction EQ for Jabba, and that's going to get him roared away. That's going to bring out a Zapdos, which is favorable for Jabba, so even though he didn't make the right prediction, he got a good result. And he's now going to sub up as Shiloh shows his last poke Steelix here, which very well may roar away this nonsense. That is not what happens. That's hidden power, presumably rock, and that doesn't even pop the sub. Roar would have been way better there, but now Jabba's got a Swampert behind the sub firing off bombs. There's a Hydro Pump and Nice Beam to take out Skarm. Rozes seemingly does not have a phaser, or maybe the T-Tar is a phaser, but that wouldn't be very helpful here. Earthquake again, so Rozes has retreated back to the plan of trying to stall out the PP of the Swampert, who's sitting very pretty behind that substitute here and gaining Lefty's back himself, or herself in this case, female Swampert. But she's going to be basically back at 100% when all of this is done. Where are we on Earthquakes here? He's got 4 pumps and 5 EQs left, so it's actually not too wild at all. In fact, it's mathematically likely at this point that Rozes does successfully PP stall out the Swampert, and Jabba again is not willing to completely give up the Pert or its remaining PP. He switches out at this point after trying it and not getting there. He finds Lax, and he's going to double it back to Marowak, getting that in on Steelix. Threatening poke here for sure. Goes EQ straight for the Steelix, but does not connect with the arrow. Double back from Shiloh here. Rock Slide on the Starmie, 45%. Good pivoting for Rozes. That's going to prompt out Marowak and avert that threat. However, the serve is not that damn exciting against Celebi here, and Jabba can heal it up. Here's Aerodactyl to keep the pressure on. Psychic is what he goes for. Must be a non-recover Celebi. It is 56%, but it will die nevertheless to the double edge here, leaving us at a 4-4. Full teams revealed for both, so it's just going to have to play out. There's the Ice Beam. Random 10% chance to freeze anything there, but doesn't get it. Starmie at 39, make that 89. Here's Earthquake. Remember, he's running thin on those. He's only at 3, and he's got 4 Hydro Pumps as well. Zapdos comes in on the obvious recover turn. Starmie at almost full health, but Zapdos still a clear threat. Goes for Thunder Wave, very risky, and that's the insta-KO from 98% via Thunderbolt. We know Steelix has HP Rock, but does that get through the Lax here or the Swampert? Man, it's underwhelming even against the Lax. It is only 15%. Earthquake a lot more at 28, but a bad para for Jabba there. Makes it so the Snorlax will not survive the follow-up Earthquake. Leaves us in a 3-3 situation now. Swampert, again, the ever-present threat throughout the game. There's Protect, again, milking that valuable PP that he's very low on at this point. But Hydro Pump is a one-hit KO on Steelix, and that leaves Shiloh in a bad spot. He's going to have to dodge some Hydro Pumps or survive an Ice Beam. Certainly no chance of surviving with a crit, but I don't think it mattered. I think he was going to die either way. There's the crunch for the crit for Shiloh, so nonsense back and forth, but I think Marowak seals it here. He does, in fact, outspeed the Tar. Earthquake obviously is going to kill with the thick club and the stab, and Jabba, even though he didn't actually set up the Marowak, never did get a Swords Dance or an agility on it, manages to win the game with it anyway. A sign of a good team that you have a little combo, you have a setup the Marowak, you have a whack pass team, you never actually achieve the combo, but you manage to win anyway. It means the team is just solid as a whole, and Marowak here gets the job done and gives Jabba the 1-0 lead. But as you guys know, these are best of 3s, and like I said, I'm going to do however many games it is, all in one video, to try to avoid spoilers, even though unfortunately I think a lot of you guys who watch these on YouTube probably already know how the matches play out. But for those of you who don't and want to see it for the first time on YouTube, that's why I'm doing it this way. So let's get into Game 2. Players are in their same positions. Shiloh, that's Rozes on the bottom. Trainer Orange, that's JabbaTheGriffin on top. Here's the second game. Lead Zap, lead Meta, Protect, and Rock Slide, which should certainly give him some pause. He Rock Slides again, which I don't love, especially if he's banded, because you know that a Rock Resist was always going to come in there. He misses, but like I said, I just don't think the play was that great. I think you're supposed to switch at that point. But spikes do come down for Shiloh, and now Jabba reveals that he also has a Skarm. It gets hit with a T-Wave on the way in. Zapdos comes, and full para for Jabba, unluckily, so he's not going to be able to get a layer of spikes down right now. Thunderbolt blanking on Swampert as Jabba's team looks very, well, Jabba-esque. A lot of his usual mons here that he does not usually deviate too far from. And here comes Meta coming in on Bliss. Skarn returns. Meteor Mash. That definitely looks like CB damage to me. Which makes it even more curious if he was stuck on it, why he went for that turn 2 rock slide. Don't love it. And the pivoting for Shiloh is not working. He's just getting everything donked by Meteor Mash. Jabba's not afraid to just stay in and keep clicking it. And he managed to chunk the meta. He managed to chunk the Zapdos. He finally does get out of the way, but he got a couple of decent hits off there. However, he switches his own Zapdos into a Thunderbolt, which is not that exciting. In fact, Jabba hasn't shown a single thing that really wants to switch into Zapdos, especially if it does in fact have HP Grass, which does seem to be the case here, since HP Ice would have been super effective there. Jabba's team seems very, very Zapdos weak here, way too much so for my taste, but we'll see if he's able to overcome it. Rock Slide there is a crit on meta, that certainly helps. Gets out of the way nevertheless. There's Skarm, there's Mash, 22%, and an attack raise for Rozes. Big opportunity here if he can... Oh, just kidding, he doesn't even go for it. I was going to say if he can punch through, get another attack raise, get a full power, whatever, I would have pushed the issue there if I were Rozes, but he sees it differently. He went to Zap, and Spikes did come down, but he killed it with T-Bolt, which Jabba seemingly, again, does not seem to have a Zapdos switch, so I guess he's just going to allow it. And that leaves us with a lead for Shiloh. 5-4 right now with one unrevealed for each player, and another critical hit from Aerodactyl on Jabba's side. Rapid Spin comes down. Spike's gone for Jabba. Won't be able to reestablish them. Skarm comes in a Hydro Pump. That is out of here. That leaves us in a 5-5. Still with the hidden poke. But Zapdos is a nightmare for Jabba. He just doesn't have a switch. I don't know that I've ever seen a competitive OU team this damn Zapdos weak. But here we are. Last poke shown for Shiloh. Hariyama, another rock resist, his third. Finds itself against Swampert. Hydro Pump 46%. Cross Chop comparable 40%. Doesn't find the crit despite the increased likelihood to do so. Hydro Pump missing on Zapdos there. Not only is that going to cost him 2 PP, but the Zapdos remains at 100% for Rozes. He goes HP Grass into the opposing Zap, but now Thunderbolt is going to follow up and finish it. Leaves us now in a 5-4. Here's Protect, scouting the Choice Band move. Rock Slide, which of his 3 rock resists will come in? It's Claydol. Don't know what that can do back to Aerodactyl, but he doesn't care that much about Rock Slide. Swampert comes in now. There's Boom and a trade. Down goes the Swampert. Leaves us in a 3-4. Last poke for Jabba revealed is T-Tower. That is going to have to do some work here, or Zapdos is going to clean him up. Out of the way he goes. Meta on meta. Meteor Mash, 24%. One's got lefties, one doesn't. Here's Hariyama. There's Boom. It's a trade. That, of course, leaves us in a 2-3 situation. Here's Arrow. Here's Blissey. Going to need some pretty good luck with flinches and such in order to win this matchup. And there's a flinch. That's going to help. But Thunder Wave or Ice Beam would both be poor. Here's another Rock Slide, but it doesn't happen this time. Thunder Wave gets off, and now Soft Boiled should be a thing. Jabba might be in trouble in this game. There's a full para at a bad time. We may be headed to a Game 3 unless that is a DD Tar that gets all the turns right. Soft-boiled Rock Slide again. This is looking to go Rose's way here. He will eventually be full parrot again or miss a Rock Slide or run out of Rock Slide PP, but the inevitability seems on Rose's side. There's the Rock Slide miss. Blissey now with an opportunity to attack. Nothing Jabba can do, but he doubles back to meta instead. Another crit. How is this Aerodactyl holding both Choice Band and Scope Lens? It's his 3rd critical hit of the game. Will it be enough? Jabba's arrow goes down. It's only the T-Tar. He gets the EQ off on the meta. Now it is the T-Tar against the Blissey and the Zapdos. We know that it doesn't have Lum because he's gaining lefties, so he's going to have to live with this T-Wave. It is a DD-Tar, which is probably the set that he wants to have here, but the T-Wave is crippling. There is S-Toss. There's Rock Slide in retaliation. That's at +1 and Stab. 52% coming down. Soft boiled here, hoping for a miss or a full para. Earthquake this time, 53%, very comparable to the Rock Slide. Soft Boiled again, keeping track of PP here. She's got 10. There's a second Dragon Dance here, as the T-Tower lefties are very relevant because the offense from Bliss seems to only be Seismic Toss, but very unlucky there for Rozes. Goes for counter on a turn where Jabba almost certainly attacked. If not for the full para, the T-Tower would have been dead there. Jabba blessed with a full para that he didn't know that he wanted. Rozes was so patient with that, and I'm almost certain Jabba had attempted to attack on that turn, but man, that was poor, and now it's going to come down to the Zapdos. He must get a crit, a full para, or avoid the Rock Slide, or Jabba is somehow going to steal this, and that is what happens here. There is a crit insult to injury. Obviously, the crit there did not matter when the T-Tar is at +4. But the Rock Slide is going to knock the Zapdos into next week, and Jabba is somehow going to win this game. It looked very dire for him for a while. It really looked to me like Rozes had a good matchup here. Jabba's team, I stand by, is tremendously Zapdos weak. I don't like this composition from him at all, but he's going to figure out a way to get it done. It's going to be a 3% paralyzed T-Tar as all that he has left, but that is evidently good enough, and he's going to cleanly 2-0 knock out Rozes. Still not clear how Jabba won this game. Like I said, his team is horrendously Zapdos weak. He managed to get 3 critical hits with his arrow, which obviously helps, and he got the clutch full para that he didn't know that he needed on that one turn, whereas if he had just attacked the Blissey, which I'm very confident he was trying to do on that turn, the counter would have simply killed him and sent us to a game 3. So Jabba caught a lot of breaks there. Also on the final turn, like I said, it could have been a crit T-Bolt, a Rock Slide miss, a full para. There's a bazillion things, or maybe even a better damage roll. There's a lot of things that could have happened there, even with the way that it played out for Shiloh to have won on that final turn. But none of it happened, and Jabba manages the 2-0 over Rozes. The first one I felt was fine. I felt Jabba deserved it. This one, maybe not so much, but you take him as you get him. He's got the W, and he's going to knock out Rozes and advance to the next round. Jabba is going to play against the winner of Sadly Seus and Teclis, which has, in fact, played out in real time, but I think that this video is going to be on YouTube before that video, so for those of you wanting to see the outcome on YouTube, if you don't already know it, I won't spoil that for you, but like I said, Jabba's going to go on to face the winner of that matchup. So keep it here on YouTube. I've got another set to narrate tonight that hopefully you guys will enjoy. I think you will. Thumbs up if you liked it, and if you're excited about CALLOUS Invitational, and I'll see you in the next video.